Well, hey everybody, it's Sandy and welcome back to my channel dedicated to helping you advocate for your own health one topic at a time. Guys, I've got a product review for you today and it's my new go-to facial mineral sunscreen. Yeah, so I did a video a while back and it was actually in response to a request I got, and somebody had said something like that my makeup always looks so nice and natural, thank you, and would I please do a video about what makeup that I use. And I decided I was going to just sort of put my toe in the water. That's not like my thing. I'm hardly a makeup artist, and I started with some sunscreen that I use. Now I probably will go ahead and do more at some point in the future, but I'm going to go back to this topic because I found a new one that I really like. So first let me talk about the old, because it's still an oldie but goodie and I still do like it, and it's EltaMD. I did a full review on this product and I'm going to link that video here. This has been my go-to facial basic sunscreen for just many years. It's something that is now available on Amazon. For the majority of the time that I've used it, it has not been, but Amazon is an authorized retailer now of EltaMD, so shipped and sold by Amazon. You're not going to get a fake that way. Besides Amazon, this is really still only available in like plastic surgeons' offices and dermatologists' offices. It's a great product. I have a few rules for what I will put on my face, and it checks off every box. One is that it has to be a physical block sunscreen. I don't use any chemical sunscreens on my face. I'm actually trying to move to not using any chemical sunscreens on my body, but that's a whole other story and it's a little harder to do. But certainly on my face, I have sensitive skin and I only want to use physical sunscreens. So that's anything made with either zinc oxide or titanium dioxide or both. And it also has to be emollient and smooth enough to spread, because both of those can be kind of thick and sticky. And of course I don't want a white as a ghost white cast on my face. Now I don't mind a little bit because usually it dissipates over some period of time. I just don't feel the need to kick and scream about a little bit of a white cast, which is sort of a function of the product that I'm choosing anyway. But now that we have some options that don't do that, great. So EltaMD is one of those. EltaMD actually has a tint. And some people confuse what is the tint for with sunscreens, and they'll say, well, this only comes in like 2 different tints, so there's so many skin colors, it doesn't come in a wide enough range. The tint in these physical sunscreens is really not to match your skin tone. It's meant to cover up the white cast. So it's whatever pigment they have to put in there to cancel out that white. So don't worry about whether it matches your skin tone. It probably doesn't, but it's not meant to show. They just cancel each other out. So EltaMD has ticked all those boxes. EltaMD is a combination of the zinc oxide, the titanium dioxide. It's kind of low percentages. The zinc is 9%, the titanium is 7%. Overall, apples to apples, I have read that the zinc oxide is actually better for your skin than the titanium, so it's better to have more zinc. It does in this case. It's also better to have a higher percentage of zinc oxide. Now, ultimately what matters is the UV protection. This one is excellent at 41 SPF, but the zinc itself is 9%, and it is better if you can find something that has a higher percentage zinc as long as you're using it. So, enter Olay's Regenerist Mineral Sunscreen. I've just had a chance to try this recently over recent weeks. I am loving it, so let me tell you all about it. And before I go any further, we're going to discuss the price difference, because that's going to be the obvious thing that comes up. EltaMD, given that it is a product that's sold, yes, by Amazon, but other than that, pretty much in doctor's offices, it's a very high-end product, and it retails for about $10 an ounce. So this is a 3-ounce tube. It's $30. You can even put it on your Amazon Subscribe and Save, and it'll come out to be just a little bit less. It seems very hard to go from that to something that's sort of a drugstore, grocery store product even, that sells for more, because this is $31, but it's 1.7 ounces instead of 3 ounces. So the difference is it's a little more than a third more per ounce. And I did find that a little hard to take, but I can't argue with the results. So let me tell you about it. So the first thing is that the Olay is an all mineral sunscreen now. Their products, the Regenerist line, all kind of look alike. So they do have another one that is available also in the same kind of tube, but it does not say mineral on it, and that's a moisturizer with sunscreen. So make sure that if you want to try this, that you choose the one that says mineral on it. And I'm going to link it down below in the description box. Now, in this case, the SPF is 30. So yeah, 30 is less than 41 for sure. But if you look at the difference, really, it's something like 97% versus 98% protection from the UV rays. So the difference between an SPF of 30 and an SPF of 41 is really quite small. I'm going to put down below in the description box as well the exact percentage because it might even be a more narrow difference than what I just stated. Now the Olay, as opposed to the EltaMD, is made of purely zinc oxide, so there's no titanium dioxide in there. I think that's in the plus column, and it is a 17.5%. I'm going to see if I can't get that to focus for you. 17.5% zinc oxide instead of 9%. So I thought to myself, I really got to try this stuff. It is surprisingly emollient, very similar in texture to the EltaMD, except for this one is a bit thinner and it really sinks in. I don't even expect that in a mineral sunscreen. I sort of expect, because it's mineral, that it's going to feel like a layer on top of my skin, because that's what it is. It's a physical block. But for whatever reason, you really don't feel it with this one. It leaves your skin not tacky at all and just feeling moisturized. That's it. It looks like you have maybe a high quality moisturizer on. There's just the slightest bit of dewiness maybe at the spots in your face that protrude out a little bit. There's nothing really dewy about the whole complexion. There's nothing tacky to the touch. It just feels nicely moisturized. The Olay does not contain a tint, so I was thinking I'm going to have to deal with the white cast. I don't know what they do. Somehow they cancel out the white cast without adding a color or an obvious color, because I'm not left with any kind of tint on my face. There's no color that comes off, like if I put a face mask over this for a while. If I scratch my eyebrow or something, I don't see some gunk that's discolored under my fingernail like I would with something like the EltaMD. My main reason for trying this is because I knew, like, before I had surgery, I was going to have this arm in a cast. I wasn't going to want to be wearing much in the way of like makeup that has to be thoroughly washed off. I was going to be kind of compromised. Not that I don't wash my face, but I just didn't want to have to deal with things like that. I figured there probably would be a white cast, but I was just going to deal with that. So I'm just going to give you a sense of, see, it's a pretty thick cream. It's thick enough that it like doesn't run down my finger, but it's actually a very lightweight cream. I'm going to see if I can give you a sense of just how moist it is. It's actually pretty thin, but not runny. And when you rub it in, it just leaves the look of the skin just being, nicely moisturized. It picks up just ever so slightly the glow of some light. You can see now the difference between my hand and my fingers. But there's really no white cast. There's no white cast at all. And there's nothing really tacky. It just feels like really nicely moisturized. I've been finding myself reaching for this a lot more than the EltaMD. Now, when I want to have something that sort of substitutes as makeup to even out my complexion or something, yeah, this isn't going to do that because there is nothing in it in the way of a tint that's going to achieve that. The EltaMD does that a little bit. On the other hand, the Olay seems to just really dry down more than the EltaMD. I don't want to say dry because it really isn't dry, but it's set, like a moisturizer that's in there. It's set. It just doesn't feel like there's anything that I could sort of scrape off, And I really like that about this. It sort of feels cleaner, and in the summertime especially, I just find myself reaching for this all the time because I'm just so impressed with this product. I'm so impressed with the fact that they had the high percent zinc. They managed to do it without the white cast, that color, and they managed to do that without putting in an obvious color that's like all over your skin and can rub off on clothes and things like that. Really impressed with this. So one thing I have not had the chance to do is like use this, say, under a full face of makeup. So until I'm out of the cast, I don't really see myself doing a full face of makeup, like camera makeup or something like that. I think that I will try that eventually. In fact, I'm sure I will. And if I do have any interesting findings one way or another, I will share that with you guys. I'm looking forward to having a chance to do that. But, in the meantime, this has been a great go-to moisturizer. Even though it is a little bit of a bitter pill to swallow, it's a little bit more expensive than the EltaMD per ounce. I do feel like I can use a little bit less. I can use it sparingly. Don't go too sparingly when something that you're using is for the purpose of sun protection, because you do need a certain amount to be able to let it do its job and protect you. On the other hand, in terms of its price point, this still comes in really quite competitive with almost any other product that is a physical sunscreen. I think that the EltaMD is kind of an anomaly in that regard. So, they're a little bit apples and oranges, but overall, I do find myself reaching for the Olay one a lot more. I'll let you know if it really replaces my EltaMD long term. For right now in the summer, it certainly has. And let me know if you guys have a chance to try it, and let me know if you like it, found anything about it, good, bad, indifferent. And I hope this was helpful. And until next time, be well. Bye-bye.